Today I'm reviewing the Marantz AV7706 11.2 channel 8K Ultra HD AV surround preamplifier with HEOS built-in and voice control support. If you want to check current pricing or availability, it's linked below. I've used this processor in a dedicated home theater setup with a multi-amp configuration and a full speaker array. These impressions come from real content playback and everyday use, not just spec sheets. Let's set expectations early. This is not an all-in-one AV receiver with built-in power amplification. It's a preamp/processor, the signal routing and DSP heart of a larger system that still requires external power amplifiers to drive your speakers. That's foundational to how it fits into real systems. In everyday movie watching, the AV7706 handles Dolby Atmos, DTS:X, and other object-based formats with a refined sense of spatial layering. Dialogue hangs in the right place without getting overly bright, and dynamic passages in film soundtracks feel composed and intentional. It doesn't chase theatrically fat bass on its own, it feeds signals cleanly to whatever amps and speakers you pair with it. One of the strengths I noticed is how well it manages channel routing and room profiles. With proper calibration, hide and surround channels feel integrated rather than disjointed. Object movement tracks across the sound field in a coherent way, which helps for immersive content rather than just louder effects. Sound quality with music also feels balanced. With stereo and multi-channel music sources, detailed mid-range and timbral accuracy stay intact. It doesn't color the sound in a bright or overly warm way. What you hear feels more like an accurate representation of the source than a Marantz sound. That neutrality makes it easier to pair with a range of speakers without defensive balancing. The 8K HDMI support and signal handling are practical in real use. Switching between consoles, UHD sources, streaming players, or PC graphics outputs didn't introduce signal drops or awkward lock issues once everything was configured. Resolutions and refresh rates handled cleanly through the chain, a relief when you switch content constantly. Networking and smart features matter in daily use too. Built-in HEOS integrates well for multi-room streaming, and once set up the network audio experience is stable. Bluetooth and AirPlay playback add quick options, and voice control works as expected for basic commands without feeling like a gimmick. One practical area that shows up over weeks of use is the interface and calibration workflow. The menus focus on function rather than flash, and walking through room setup and speaker distance adjustments takes a bit of time up front. Once dialed in, however, the performance consistency really shows during both movies and music. Now, limitations and realities. Because this is a preamp without internal power, you need external amplifiers matched to your speaker load and room size. That's not a flaw, it's the nature of standalone processors, but it's important to plan budget and rack space around that requirement. Room calibration matters more here than in integrated receivers. Using a good measurement mic and calibration tool brings out the best in this processor. Without careful setup, even high-end processors can feel flat or unbalanced because room acoustics dominate what you hear. This processor fits best in setups where you plan dedicated surround sound with separate power amps, want refined object-based surround formats in film and music, use multiple sources with varying resolutions and refresh rates, enjoy networked audio streaming and multi-room integration. If your priority is a simple, all-in-one AVR that drives speakers directly, this isn't that category. Likewise, if your space or budget doesn't accommodate external amplification and calibration, integrated solutions can make more sense. Here's the bottom line. The Marantz AV7706 delivers measured, flexible signal processing for serious home theaters. It doesn't chase exaggerated claims, it focuses on accurate surround rendering, modern connectivity, and a neutral foundation that lets your speaker choices and room calibration shine. Check current pricing below and evaluate it against your needs.